everyone. This is Candace Peterkin, founder of She Is Art, a media company dedicated to sharing the stories of everyday Black women. This summer, I went to Puerto Rico to learn about the Black women's experience and had the chance to interview two amazing women who are from the island. Here's what they had to say.
We can't deny that Puerto Rico is a very beautiful country and we have a very rich history, but there's many things that Puerto Rico needs improvement on. And I don't think that when Puerto Rico is talked about in other spaces, is it ever considered that it is not really a paradise for the ones that live here, especially for the Black people that live here. It's not paradise here. And there's a lot of struggle, and I would change that because there are ways of changing it. If the government cared, if they used the money for what it's meant to be used, we would be better.
Puerto Rico is a beautiful island. We have a beautiful culture, music, our people, like everything, our history. But there's this thing that is called government, and sadly, it has a lot of influence on the things that we're living right now. So definitely I would change the government completely. I would give opportunities to the young people to have a voice. Yeah, that I would change. My name is Sara Nangova Cabrera. I am from Vega Baja, Puerto Rico. Beautiful island. Okay, so I identify as Afro-Puerto Rican.
Okay.
I am Black, as you can see. My father is Black. My mom is white. She's a white Puerto Rican, but all my grandparents are Black. Okay. And we have been living on the same town for 200 years. That's why I named myself Nangoba, because that's my great-grandfather's real last name, African last name. What it drives people to identify themselves only as Puerto Rican, even though they're Black, is the lack of education.
Okay.
And the lack of knowledge of the history.
Yeah.
And acceptance. And sadly, our system is not the best. So when we speak about Black history here in PR, they start with slavery, and then they'll start talking about icons like Barbosa, or Julia, or Yolanda, or Mayra Santo, or La Doctora Rios. There are people those people that make statements in here in PR.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be in book history, and they're not there.
Hello, my name is Tamara. I'm 22 years old. I am from Dorado, Puerto Rico. I am a freelance fashion model here. I use my platform to talk about racism, colorism, and anti-Blackness. It's mostly what I use my platform for. I identify as a Black Puerto Rican. Here in Puerto Rico, a lot of people fear assuming themselves as Black. We're raised being anti-Black here, and we're convinced, like since school, we're taught that every Puerto Rican is a mix of the three races of Spaniard, Taino, and African, which is a complete lie. We're not all Black, we're not all white, we're not all mixed. Every single one of us has a specific experience, and we should embrace our own experience.
According to the New York Times, more than 3/4 of Puerto Ricans identified as white on the last census, even though majority of the population has roots in Africa. This raises questions about how race is being taught in Puerto Rico. We wanted to understand how Black women are being treated on the island.
I believe that Black women here struggle with being seen. I think we struggle with having our emotions acknowledged, with just being given a space. We constantly have to fight. We constantly have to say, hey, you're doing this, that is disrespecting me. And it's usually things that are fucking obvious. And then all these people that continuously impose violence onto us force us to just share our trauma and expose our pain like this, just because they refuse to acknowledge that they're hurting you and they're disrespecting you. And Black women here struggle a lot with that. We struggle with being visibly Black. We have to keep our hair straight, and we have to hide, we can't get tattoos. We are not supposed to have very colorful nails. We just struggle with expressing ourselves however we want, because we're always seen as too much. no matter what we do. Like, we're just existing, and we're always seen as aggressive, as loud, and as we're trying to have an argument with the world, as we're at war with the world, and in every single way, the world is at war with us.
And it's very hard to create our own safe space for us to heal, for us to feel comfortable, for us to start embracing our hair, our skin, our melanin, our culture, our history. And when I mean our history, everything that has to do with our history. Sometimes when we raise our voices, people don't want to listen because they think like we're trying to be victims. We're not trying to be victimes. We're just trying to speak out our struggles, and we're trying to teach people like, you know what, this is what is going on. This is what we need to change so we can evolve as a society.
For many, growing up Black in Puerto Rico was not something that was embraced. Some Black Puerto Ricans felt that identifying as simply Black eliminates their unique cultural identity. Self-love can be taught and practiced, and we see a lot of that happening today on the island.
I did struggle a lot with growing up being Black because, I don't know, I guess I just never understood what being Black meant. I grew into self-love when I started modeling, when I started finding beauty in me, when I stopped comparing myself to white women, and when I stopped assuming that I had to be blonde and that I had to have my hair completely straightened to look pretty, when I stopped thinking that, and when I said, hey, I'm having these thoughts because there is a system of anti-Blackness that just hates me for the way that I look and that hates people that have darker skin. When I understood that, that's when I realized there is nothing wrong with the way I look. I am absolutely beautiful. Literally everyone out there is trying to emulate the Black woman. So I'm not like, I'm beautiful. I am perfect. There is nothing wrong with me, and no white woman is gonna convince me that I have to change to fit into a standard.
Mama, I didn't even like my skin.
Oh wow.
I didn't even like my color, because I think until now I could say this story without crying, and I will try not to cry.
Okay.
So when I was like 4 years old, I was bullied because I was, like I said, it was only 3 Black kids in school.
Right.
So they used to bully me because I was Black, right? They were kids, so they didn't know any better. They were learning from their parents, but their parents were racist as well.
Right.
And I came to my house, and I put like baby powder all over my body, all over my face. I tried to be white.
Wow.
And my tia, like my mom, she didn't know what to do. Because I was like, oh my God, what the fuck am I going to do like this kid? Because, you know, she's white. And she's like, okay, what do I do with a kid that feels like this?
Yeah.
She's only 4.
Wow.
She's getting bullied at school, in a private school. I cannot move her because she's close by me, by my work. So she tried to talk to my tia. My tia, she's Black. She's beautiful. All of them. All my aunts, they're Black. And my tia, my mom cleaned my whole body, and my tia came to me and she said like, oh mama, you have such a beautiful color. I was like, gonna cry, gonna have to.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't because of that, I think by today I wouldn't accept myself as I am.
Wow.
And she said, mama, you have a beautiful color. Never forget you have a beautiful color. You're a beautiful Black woman. You're a beautiful Black kid. You have beautiful hair. Your nose is perfect. And that's what I heard the first time I heard about my ancestras. She was the first one.
Wow.
And I think that was, now I could say like, shit, if I didn't went through that, maybe I wouldn't like build my business. I wouldn't be giving workshops. I wouldn't be like, you know, writing about my history, about the women in my family, how they worked their asses off, being the only Black family in that town. So I think my tias, yeah, they helped me.
I want people to know that Afro Puerto Rican people exist, that Black Puerto Rican people are here, we've been here forever. It's very important to respect Afro-Caribbean people because we created everything. We are the ones that uphold the entire culture.
We are coming.
and we already won. You just don't like to embrace that shit. You just don't like it. Like, we are here to stay. We're not going nowhere.
Right.
We're staying with academia, with the businesses, with the magazines, with the books, with everything. Like, we're not going back, and we're not gonna stay quiet.